Yo, welcome back to another episode of Open Mic Podcast with your host, me, Thomas Hirst, and brought to you by Richland Source, Newsroom After Hours. You know the drill. I got somebody special in here for you today.
So special.
So special.
Kind of special.
I was very close to that mic, and you can see the wavelengths are massive over there.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so special. You know him. You love him. He does a lot of awesome things for the music scene that you didn't realize that he did until he started doing them, and he is here to talk about those awesome things. Mr. Potent Studios himself, Lee McIntosh. Lee?
Hi.
Nailed it.
Here, sir.
Why don't you introduce yourself for the kids at home?
I think you just did.
I guess I kind of did, didn't I?
Lee McIntosh. Age
Just
34.
rolls right off the tongue.
Caucasian male.
God bless it.
Originally a Kentuckian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Kentucky, huh?
Crossed the border and became a Buckeye.
Ah, well, good for you.
Thanks.
What part of Kentucky?
Nicholasville.
Nicholasville. I feel like that's kind of a classic story for a lot of Ohioans. Kentucky, they came from Kentucky.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, there's an entire section of Mansfield dedicated to a small version of Kentucky.
Is there a little Kentucky?
Yeah, there's a little Kentucky. You not been over there?
I haven't.
Oh.
Where's that at?
I can picture it in my mind space, but the road...
My mind space.
that you used to get there, I can't. I think it's, you take Trimble over 30.
I need turn by turn.
Okay, so you take a right on to Trimble coming from downtown as if you're going out to Ontario.
I'm already
right?
lost.
And then you go over 30. You got the McDonald's on the right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pass Speedways, keep going. And I think it's somewhere over there.
Nice.
I could be completely wrong.
That's pretty cool.
Let us know in the comments if that is if I'm right.
Yeah.
Or not.
Maybe I'll take a trek over there.
If anybody actually listens this far into the podcast, I don't know.
Hey, stick around.
Stick around. There's more high quality
Nonsense.
music content like that coming at you. So yeah, what is Potent Studios?
Potent Studios is a media design company of mine.
Okay.
Pretty much do all things entertainment, media, graphics, web, app design, UI, UX, all that kind of fun stuff.
UI, UX?
Yeah, like mobile app design.
Oh, okay.
Like user experience and all that kind of stuff. So, and then more recently, like stage lighting and design.
Yeah.
As of like earlier this year.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping into that, trying to expand.
Yes.
And
it's quite the expansion.
yeah.
Again, there's things that you don't know you need until they're there, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I ever exist without this in my life? I would say one of those things is your lighting rig, your new lighting rig now.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. I got the pleasure of running that rig when
That's right.
your band Autopoxy played for the last Newsroom After Hours.
Which you did a bang-up job, by the way.
Thank you. It was surprisingly a lot of fun. Surprisingly simpler than I expected, and more complex in other areas. I know that.
No, that sounds about right. I mean,
but
considering I gave you like a 30-second rundown right before we played.
It was quite the time.
Thankfully, we had a rough start there to our set, so you had some time to kind of familiarize yourself during the awkward silence.
It was great. Hopefully nobody knew. But yeah, tell us about that light rig. That's quite the thing.
I had been wanting to get into it for a while. I had like a basic understanding of like all the pieces and everything kind of required just from like way back during like church days and stuff like that. Always had an interest in it, but only now that I'm an adult can I spend my money on anything. So I was like, all right, if we're going to do this, we're just going to jump in. So I started just buying the equipment, dismantling my entire living room, where that's pretty much all my house was for like at least a month and a half, 2 months. It's just completely destroyed, setting it up, testing it, adjusting it, testing it again, rigging it, lighting it. I'm also kind of like a cable management nerd.
Okay.
So sometimes I would like wire it up and be like, it could be better this way. Like some stuff that I probably shouldn't spend my time on.
So you would completely dismantle it again.
Well, like, yeah, I would wire everything up, like twist tie it, use like Velcro strips and all that stuff. And then, but sometimes I would actually legit do it wrong.
Oh, okay.
Spend like 2 hours setting it up, wiring it, and I'm like, oh, I actually have to run this the complete opposite direction. So I definitely like redid it like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Just realizing I'm a trial and error kind of guy.
Yeah. Less forethought,
throw away
more
the manual and just
jumping off the cliff.
Yeah. But yeah, did that for like a month and a half, and then it wasn't until the Afronaut show, which is kind of what I was gearing up to kind of make this that like the test case.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm jumping into this. Like, this is the sink or swim.
Yeah.
Is this going to work?
Yeah.
And because I've tried that
yourself
a few times.
Yeah.
And definitely sank. Like, not last Mansfield Music Fest, but the one before that. I tried to set up those light poles and LED strips.
Yeah.
Spent like 10 minutes of just everyone awkwardly
waiting.
Just like time feeling like it lasts forever. And then not even using it at all. But it doesn't stop me.
No, clearly. You came back in full force.
Yeah. So thankfully everything went well.
Yeah.
And then, you guys approached me. And then now we're kind of making it a thing. Because I originally got it basically for Odd Epoxy.
Yeah.
Just to kind of continue to amp up our own shows.
Right.
Now it's kind of turning it more into like, a thing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Again, I'd been saying it, but really had no idea how important that was until it was there, because
nice.
It looks sick. It just looks sick.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, man. If y'all don't know, come out to the next Newsroom after hours show.
Yeah, when I think it's...
Yep, I should know this because I should know this,
right?
But,
It is...
technology.
Drum roll. June 17th.
June 17th.
Bada bing.
Bam.
Shabao.
Whew. So, next Newsroom after hours, June 17th.
Yep.
You will get to hear, or get to see, everything in action that we're talking about currently.
You'll have at least 4 more chances this year.
At least.
So if you go the rest of the year without seeing it, well, we'll have to have
You
words,
screwed up.
I guess.
You screwed up real bad.
Now, hold on.
Screwed up? I don't care. They're screwing up if they ain't coming out and seeing it. Let me just tell them right here, right now.
You heard it.
Heard it
Listen
first.
to Tom.
Yeah.
He'll get you.
He'll get you.
There's 3 more after-hour shows.
Yep.
Pretty much the most mid part of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Fridays.
Yeah.
And then I'll be doing something potentially even a little crazier.
Oh.
For Mansfield Music Fest.
Ooh.
Shout out Austin Moore.
What's up, Austin? Mansfield Music Fest is coming up in September.
Yeah.
It's always a good time. If you don't know. You best know. Best get to knowing.
Let's get on it.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, lighting. What that's like an aspect of shows that has completely went over my head for years. Had no concept of it except for back in the day when I was in touring bands, bands used to set up. They would have the surge protector.
Dude, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember the gun
6
show doing
prongs.
that.
Yeah, the 6 prong ones, and then you take those floodlights, plug them into it, and
Dude, those were
just
sick.
turn it off and on.
It absolutely worked though. It was sick because you all had made those like platforms too, and like underlit them.
Yeah.
Those are great.
By you all, you mean Eric, because Eric did everything. 'Cause he had a vision, and we
He
just
nailed it.
were there to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was sick. That was a lot of fun. We'd just flip the reset on and off button, and it would flash the lights, and
Totally works.
go crazy from there. But your light rig is on a different planet than that. It's not even in the same county or state or continent. It is a different world all in its own. What even goes into figuring out what is like how do you even figure out how to buy stuff like that, or what works together with that kind of setup?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways you can go about it. One is the smart way.
Interesting.
And the other is the way
Interesting.
I went. The smart way is you can use like 3D software to like pre-plan your shows.
Oh.
And you can kind of like configure light fixtures in that.
Okay.
And you can kind of pre-plan shows, visualize it, how big the stage is.
Wow.
Place lights, moving lights in 3D space, create looks and textures and patterns by like light directions and all that kind of
Really?
stuff. But that
That's
software is
incredible.
also expensive, and
well,
it takes
yeah.
some extra
That sounds like it would be.
setup. But we're getting there.
Oh.
We're stepping into that. But for that, the way I went is I was like, I just want to get a moving head fixture
Yeah.
just to like futz around with it.
Okay. Moving head fixture.
Yeah, that you can kind of control its position,
Okay.
pan and tilt and colors and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I got one of those, and again, it was a lot of trial and error. A lot of times when I jump into this stuff, I'll buy something, it'll be the wrong thing, I'll send it back, I'll get the thing I think is the right thing, but it's still not, return that, and by like try 3 or 4, I finally get it.
Yeah.
So I went through some of those, because you need like the light, you need like a lighting controller,
Okay.
which is basically the computer tells the fixture what to do, basically.
Okay. Word.
So I finally got all that, working with one fixture, and I went through a few different fixtures before I found like at least the first one I liked using,
Yeah.
and from there it was just buying. It was just like kind of thinking in your head, maybe like jotting down some like really rough notes, and then just getting the stuff, because I use
Okay.
Amazon a lot. So I was like, well, if anything, I can get it. If it's not what I need or doesn't
Yeah.
work out, then I'll just return it. So I do that a little bit. And yeah, from there, it was more just getting the fixtures, kind of having some idea, and then start hooking it up, putting it into place, thinking about, okay, well, where can I put these to kind of give me the most flexibility on the budget
Yeah. Okay.
I have, which the budget kept. As I got a few lights, I was like, well, if you're going to do it, you might as well.
Yeah.
And I get that. I was like, well, I mean, if I'm going to,
Of course. Yeah. I mean, you're already spending the money. What's a little bit more?
at that point, you're not even looking at numbers. You're just
Yeah.
like,
how do I make this as awesome as possible for what I have?
yeah. So the setup we have now is like 4 spots on the back truss behind the band. And in between 4 of those spotlights, we have groups of 4 beams, which are like kind of like the straight line
Okay.
fixtures. And on the floor, we kind of have 4 like zoom washes. Washes is just like an unfocused light.
Okay.
So it just kind of
Some blankets.
blanket. That's
Yeah.
a good way to describe it.
Casting a light blanket.
Yeah. So
A little snug light blanket on.
get all snug there.
Make you want to nap a little.
So yeah, I got 4 of those, which those are probably the beefiest fixtures I have. And I did that in case I wanted, like for our band, if we did start playing more shows outside of Mansfield,
Okay.
I'd have at least like 4 beefy lights that I could take that wouldn't be too much setup,
Yeah.
but they could do quite a bit.
Okay.
And then in the front, there's like 3 LED bar lights. And in between each of those, there's like 2 more just like washes just to kind of light up the stage. And so you can actually see the musicians,
Right.
which we're adjusting that and making that better each show.
Yeah.
Because that was another learning thing I had to realize is like the distance of light from the band. Because that first show that we played, it was like a little too far out.
Yeah.
So basically, you're just blinding yourself, and you can't see anyone. I had the fog like cranked up to 11, which probably looked great from out there.
Yeah.
But it was to a point where I have no idea if anyone's enjoying this whatsoever.
No crowd interaction, no visibility. You can't see
Yeah.
what your fingers are doing.
Yeah.
Not good for a band setup. Yeah.
Yeah. So the second show we did, I kind of adjusted that again. The third show adjusted again. And then this next one, when you get into something, you learn a little bit each time and you just iteratively improve on it.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is just being aware of that and trying to improve it each time.
Yeah. That's good.
Obviously, you can't raise the bar too high every single time. But, yeah.
Yeah. But you can expect to improve, which is a great place to start.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean, for the first, like, having only done it publicly for the past, 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks amazing every time.
Thanks.
On top of the lights, you have those TVs that you have in the back.
Right.
That make it way more fun.
Nice.
Project some images or something, whatever you kind of find, random stuff.
Yeah, that was another thing jumping into. That was the easiest part because I knew how to do all that. Because over the years, I kind of had looked into software and how to do like video mapping and stuff like that.
Okay.
And just YouTube.
Yeah.
Learning everything from YouTube, basically.
The great university that is YouTube.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first show we did, we had like 3 65-inch monitors that were 3 in a row vertically. And then I think some point during transport, one of them just got wrecked. I must have like stacked them wrong or hit a bump while driving or something. But it kind of blew out the bottom corner. So that one's kind of got decommissioned. So the next show, that may have happened. I can't remember if that happened after the first show or second. I had only gotten a max of 2 shows out of that TV. Then we kind of had to adapt. And I was like, okay, how do I fix this? So I thought it was going to end up looking cheesy, but I took the third monitor out, obviously.
Yeah.
And just did more like a horizontal landscape behind the 2 with the 2 TVs. Not only that, but one of the 4th floor fixtures also messed up. So that's still also broken. But it kind of worked out going to 2 TVs and then shifting the floor lights to only 3 instead of 4.
Yeah.
It ended up working out, but kind of a bummer that that kind of went down the drain really fast.
Yeah. But I mean, if you hadn't seen it, really, you wouldn't know either way. So the 2 still work out real well.
Yeah, and I might try and. I got something in the works for.
Man, I love it when you say that, Lee. I really do.
I can't say too much, but on the monitor, like TV visuals front.
Okay.
Trying to cook up something.
Is it with that app you were showing me the other day?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was like, oh, snap.
But I don't want to say too much because
all right.
I don't know if it'll happen or not.
For sure.
But if it does, you'll want to be there.
Good suspense. Good, what is that? Drawing them in tactic.
Come in.
Come see. Come see the cool stuff.
Come see the cool stuff, man. It's going to be cool. It's like Bill Clinton or something. It's gonna be cool, man. Mansfield music. Okay, it's terrible. That's a terrible impression. Oh boy. See, trying and failing. Trial and error. Trial and error.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
all about it.
Yeah, it's life's a constant work in progress.
Exactly. But you gotta try, man. You know,
Set your goals. Yeah.
set your goals and
It's a band.
not meet them.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
Adjust, not meet those.
Yeah, there's a target,
Yeah.
you know, and you shoot, you aim, and then you adjust the sights if you don't hit that bullseye.
Yeah.
Right there. Right, smear. How hard is it to move that rig? Because if you haven't seen it, it essentially creates a massive box of light on the stage,
More or
or
less.
creates a stage, and they're what, like 10 foot ish,
There's two
8
like
foot
truss bars. It's like 15 feet in the back and then 15 feet in the front.
sideways, like long ways,
Yeah, width-wise. of the
widthwise,
stage.
and how
Yeah.
how tall vertically?
It's like 90 inches or something like that. Whatever that translates to. 8.5 feet, something like that.
Math.
Yeah. Math.
Okay, so yeah, they're massive. Like,
Yeah, the first time, because again, I had everything in my living room, so I was tearing it down there and just storing
which
everything.
was
and
hilarious.
just
The first time I
walking
walked
over.
into your place, and it's just
Did you see it when it was?
when you finally had it
Yeah.
set up in your living room? You had me over, and
That's right. Yeah.
it's just a casual rave scenario in Lee's living room with his cats just jumping around everywhere and nothing else.
That was something I was using it for, is like next level cat entertainment. 'Cause instead of one laser, I've now got like 16 of them.
Oh man,
I think it was sensory overload for
could
them.
have made
I
some
think, like,
amazing YouTube videos, cat
Yeah.
videos.
surprisingly, they didn't really do too much.
Really?
There was a couple times, but
Yeah.
I think it was just so much going on at once. It's like they just didn't understand. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
I don't know what to look at.
Too many lights.
Too many
It's
lights.
Not as fun. This obviously isn't special.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving the.
Yeah. The first time it took a bit of work. Probably like, I don't know, with Ori's help and Zach's. I think Zach was holding the first time too.
Shout
it
out
probably took
Orgy
like,
and Zach.
yeah, shout out. It probably took like 3.5 hours to
Okay.
set up.
Okay.
And now with help, I can get it set up in like 3.
Shaved off an hour,
No,
half
it's
hour.
like the setup and teardown
Always improving.
isn't too bad. I've got it more or less down to a science at this point.
Okay.
Because I had previously decided like trying to do something different for every show as too much.
Yeah.
Just kind of keeping it the same definitely helps with the setup and teardown times. But
Yeah. That makes sense. At least until you have it like mastered.
right,
Mastered.
mastered.
That's not. I mean,
Yeah, it's not too bad.
no. I don't really know what I was expecting with that question, but it seems a lot longer than I expected, but also seems a lot quicker than I expected. So it doesn't. Again, I had no idea what to expect, but it's not horrible.
Yeah, I will say after doing this though, I kind of realized why. As like you continue to scale the show in terms of like equipment and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you kind of realize why bigger acts actually have tour buses and all this stuff. It's like, okay, this is why you actually have roadies and stagehands, because otherwise, even with 2 people, you're
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Just on.
So-
I mean, your setup isn't small by any stretch of the imagination, but
Yeah,
compared
but it's
to
nowhere
that,
near-
Yeah, it's small, and that's still, like you said, 3.5 hours. Like,
Yeah.
it's. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, when you go see some stadium rock band, like.
Yeah. And there are some little things too that like you kind of improve over time. It's just like not tearing down certain things as opposed to like, all right, packing everything up nice and neatly, undoing every single cable.
Yeah.
Now it's more or less keeping certain things attached where it makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah. Setup times definitely keep improving. But
Yeah. That's sick.
yeah.
That's real sick. Yeah, like I said, it's amazing. You guys got to come out and see it. You don't realize how important light shows are to a concert until you actually see a good one in action.
Yeah, that was one of the other reasons why I did it, is because outside of like churches and like House of Blues type level shows, there's really no lighting with intent behind it. It's usually just random rainbow colored lights, which totally works. It's totally fine. But I wanted to kind of try and do something where, I don't know, like certain art is elevated when I can see a level of effort that was put into it.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah.
I think that just helps elevate it.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I
wanted
to do it.
Absolutely. So. No, again, I mean, I completely naive, I guess, or even ignorant to the idea of a proper light show for even local shows, because, you know, before then you go to like local venues or somewhere that isn't like a massive place and they just have some lights flickering on and off and like some whatever.
Yeah, which is definitely better than nothing. It definitely gets the job done.
It is, but it's also kind of just like something that's like a throwaway passive in the background. It's happening, but you don't really pay attention to it. It's almost sometimes more distracting than anything. Yeah,
and with some acts, sometimes that is preferred, you know. You don't always want it to be going crazy and flashing the entire time.
Right.
But being able to do that is definitely fun.
Yeah, but again, and that's why initially I was being slightly facetious, but like you really did take it to that next level, because even with it, the not super flashy or jumping around light wise, it still adds this level of depth that isn't there even with the lower tiered light shows that you're typically used to when going to bar venues or something to that effect, you know?
Yeah.
Again, nothing terribly wrong with it. It's just like you're saying, it a lot of the times the artistic experience is enhanced when you see the level of effort put into it, and light shows is just something that people don't really think about of putting that extra effort into it.
And it is a big thing to jump into. It's like, I also really love bands that, I mean, one of my favorite bands of all time mastered the art of riding the line between DIY and like super pro.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think I've just been inspired by that ever since. And now there are some really cool acts that, like the Magnafoxes. I love like their oil and water projection visuals.
Yeah.
So I love like homegrown visual stuff like that too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that adds such a neat depth of an element to their show that it's so much more immersive.
And even like the floodlights. Yeah, I love that DIY element where it's like, it's very clear, like the Jimmy rig that went on to make that happen. But it's more entertaining that way.
Yeah. Right.
I think having a good mix of both of those things is like the sweet spot.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Lee, is you want me to hook up some floodlights to a six-prong and join your light show?
Yes.
All right. It's like a drum circle, but for light shows.
What?
Anybody just bring your local light rigs and set up and
grab your flashlights, crack some neon tubes. That's what we're missing. Just the neon tubes. Tubes.
What are those people who spin the light balls at like raves and stuff?
Like fire dancers?
Kind of, but you see, they're not the fireball ones.
Okay,
I
think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Strap one of those onto a fan.
That's what
or
we
something
need, though.
Like
we need
that.
ribbon dancers.
Yeah.
If there's any ribbon dancers.
Joking, but not.
Joking, but Not whatsoever.
Not so. But yeah. Anyway, so
yeah. I forget what I was even saying.
I don't remember either. We got off on a tangent there.
No.
But yeah, the light rig's dope.
Thanks, man.
It's adds that level of artistic expression that shows an amount of effort and care that drags you in. I think it's something that we were talking about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have pulled that out of my
eventually
butt,
the dream is
yeah, there you
to
go.
have,
What is
like,
the dream?
so everything eventually is going to be automated for our live show.
Okay.
So I'm going to be able to queue up a song from my computer, and then all these visuals and light movements and video and stuff like that synced to specific parts of the song.
Okay.
Again, going back to the intent of like, okay, I want the audience to feel this way.
Interesting.
Which, yeah, I don't know, is just
Yeah.
interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's a really cool way of putting it. Actually being able to steer
Like just basically
reactions.
doing more like storytelling elements to it.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I also found more enjoyable recently is just finding fun ways to rearrange your own songs. Like, what is the journey of this set list? As cheesy as that sounds.
No, yeah.
Which I think our last set list was probably one of the ones I was most happy about, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was different than what we did before. Like, second song, we played our classic Ender.
Yeah.
As a way of like, okay, where's this going from here now? Because this is usually what you end on.
With. Yeah.
And finding those like threads between the beginning of one song and the beginning, end of one song and beginning of the next.
Yes.
Okay, how can you
Dude,
bridge that gap? And just like figuring out how to do that.
I
Okay,
love that.
this key and then this key. Do we cut hard here? Or do we try and blend them? And just...
Yeah, because you can really take it to a very finite a very intricate depth of connectability within transitions from song to song, right?
That's one thing that like elevates a good band from a great band for me.
Yes.
Is like
Yes.
the transitions and how smoothly a set plays.
Yes.
Unless it's like a singer-songwriter and it's like, okay, play a song, stop. This song's about such and such, play.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But when there are bands that like, they like know when to talk.
Yeah.
And when to like leave you in that moment.
Yep.
And just, something just, when a good set is just well planned.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's different, man.
It's completely different, bro. And no, it's amazing too because that's something that the average person, like, you don't even realize that it's happening when it's happening. You know,
right?
Like that, and that's what I think is the most amazing part of that level of quality thought through set planning. Is that like, you know, because I mean, everybody's been to that show where the song you listen to, you may have never heard the band before, you may have heard the band before, but either way, the song is gripping you and you are really into it and it's moving you in some way, you know, and then the song ends and the guitarist is tuning, the drummer is switching out sticks or something to that effect, and the vocalist is just kind of hemming and hawing around, and like there's like this massive wait time in between for whatever
it just
reason.
Breaks the flow.
It just kills it, and then everybody's like, it's like after like a certain amount of seconds, I bet there's some way of figuring it out, but people just start checking out, and you start hearing the roar of the crowd grow. And people are distracted, and then to get them back into that headspace of actually nodding and paying attention and captivating them is, I feel like, twice as hard, you know?
Dude, yeah. And that's one of the other things that interest me is, like, just how to hold that attention for an extended period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think the lighting element of what you're talking about, of wanting to bring to Autopoxy's set of completely automating the lights, the show with the music and the flow of the set, is really exploring what it takes and what it looks like to actually captivate an audience.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm constantly thinking through like how to constantly improve it. Like one of the other things that elevates a band for me is when they know how to build attention in the room and playing off that. And I accidentally pulled it off the last show.
Okay.
Because things weren't working.
Yeah.
And I was genuinely trying to figure it out. Thankfully, Ori did some impromptu stand-up or something.
Yeah.
Also, Ori's an animal.
He really is. He's a fantastic,
as they say, built different. But
yes.
And just being able, like him being able to just play on a riff and extend out the song we're about to play.
Yeah.
Well, it's clearly I'm trying to make it work, but it ended up accidentally building this tension of like the audience wanting it to work.
Yep. They're like rooting for you.
I want it to work.
Yeah.
And I think it, at least from what people told me afterwards, it kind of worked in our favor.
Yeah.
Which was really great to hear from me because that's something I wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
Whether that's like the song you choose before leading up to your set. Like, I think there's such an important role in like how you start a set.
Yeah.
Whether it's like that pad or 6 sample.
Yeah.
Something that's like, it just builds that tension and amps it up.
Yeah.
Rather than jumping right into it, which can also work.
I feel it really depends on the song, depends on the type of music, the genre.
Yeah.
And it depends on the people playing, because I've noticed in dive bomb sets, right? I've consciously actually done this a couple times to where like before our set, we usually play like a sample thing that Aaron made, you know, and it's I think a 3-6 Mafia song that he kind of chopped up and added some stuff over it, right?
Dude, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so he plays that, and then in between that and our first song, sometimes I've done it both ways, and I notice the difference. It's really simple, but I try and be genuine with it. But like the one time I've done it, I would just yell, right? Just like yell real loud and like. And like it, for whatever reason, I think it catches people off guard, and it gets them pumped. And because the first song is a massive like dun dun, like it's just kind of like out of the blue. But the times I don't do it, it seems like the music catches people off guard. But I don't know. I think there's an element of that. So
absolutely. Not to get too new agey because I'm not really into that, but there is something about like, again, we may get in like cheesy territory, but like. Yeah. Being able to like, I don't know, like inform the energy in the room and being able to like.
That's a great way of putting it. That is a great way of putting it.
Like warp it into like how you want. Yeah. Because I've noticed that too. Like when we played Mansfield Music Fest, and I was like, I had planned that though. Yeah. With Ori, I think I may have done it in practice a couple times. But yeah, just like. Yelling at the top of your lungs and just putting that energy and hopefully like getting some of that back, or just like injecting the crowd. Right. Yeah, just creating that vibe in a room. Yeah. I think the bands that can pull that off are again like
next tier.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me think
that
of
energy, and
as you were talking, it makes me think of like that weird not concept, but phenomenon of like when there's like street performers or something like that, and everybody's just kind of standing around watching them, and they have their guitar case or whatever open for tips. Like if everybody's like standing there watching for a little while, and somebody takes $1 or something and goes up and throws it in, like 5+ more people will walk up and join them afterwards. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I and that's why I really like the way you put inform them of the energy in the room, right? It's because it's like it's almost like you're conducting. In which way
that's probably a better word for
energy, in which way the feel and the rhythm and the anticipation and energy of the set is going to be, and be like, yo, this is how we are wanting to move and what we're wanting to happen and to see happen, and people follow suit with that. It's the same as like bringing up that dollar and tipping the street performer first. It's like, yo, it's almost like you're giving people an okay to enjoy themselves. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can figure out how to do that with this light show and tying all that in together, that would be sick.
That's what I hope to do. And like, but again, going back to the DIY, I like when there's this fine line of something can go wrong on stage.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that separates a good band from a great band for me is how you deal with all those mistakes and all those things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
But having this feeling of like, okay, something could go wrong.
Right.
Also creates this cool,
like tense chaos almost. Like, like fine line.
It's like part of you like wants it to go wrong.
Yeah.
Just to see how they recover from it. And that recovery is what elevates, I think.
Interesting.
Don't get me wrong, it's always great when it goes perfectly planned.
Well, yeah, for
like,
sure.
Yes!
Right. It's, but I mean, even then, like, that element of everything divulging into chaos is more difficult to deal with from a band perspective, because it's like being okay with that and keeping your composure through it is very difficult.
Because I think there were a couple tracks that either I didn't like plan it right or something, it got off. There were a couple times where I had to like bail on the track and try and like, okay, how do we recover as gracefully from this as we can? But I also kind of like that can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Exciting.
Oh, bro. So what's next for Potent Studios besides obviously the lighting is killer. You're killing it. Some dope stuff. What's on the horizon?
On the horizon is more like film and video and visual effects.
You just did you did the Afronauts latest music video they released.
Yeah.
Yes, that was dope.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, that one
Cute
I pretty
clapping
much
track.
That like story wise and editing.
Yeah,
that was all like Andrew and them. Like,
okay,
I pretty much showed up, lit it, and shot it, handed off to them, and all the editing and story points and acting. That was all them.
Nice. Okay.
So I kind of just showed up,
facilitated the filming,
facilitated what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, it looks great.
Dude, it's like up to past like 30,000 views now.
Dang, is it really?
Yeah, I've never made any video that has like the most I've ever gotten is like 8,000.
Really?
And
what's Algebra at?
8,000.
Is it really?
Yeah. And
Nailed it.
2,000 of those were advertising results, but
wow.
But yeah,
dude, that's
so
sick.
it's killing it.
Good job, Afronauts.
Dude.
Y'all are the best.
Dude, they are.
And
they really are.
Hopefully people are finally starting to realize that. At least 30,000 people.
Yeah.
Dang, that's nuts. Dope,
yeah, dude.
Good for them.
But more video stuff, visual effects. I could show you something here. I don't think it's going to translate to the listener. But the main thing right now is the Algebra sequel. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Which I've been working on for like over a year and a half.
It's so good.
2 years now.
It's so good.
And maybe people will watch it and be like, 2 years, dude? I don't know.
No, it's so
Some
good.
of it was off and on. Some of it's like letting it sit in the oven. Okay, like
Stew,
this part.
if you will.
Stew, if you will. Letting it sit and be like, okay. And then waiting for that aha moment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what should happen in this scene. Because there were a lot of times I probably could have shot this video in like a month or two.
Yeah.
And looking back, the decisions would not have been as good as it was. Even from like what I chose to put in the scene, like what chair is there.
Yeah.
Like I put a lot of effort into thinking about just
Chairs.
about everything that's in the frame.
Yeah.
Is more or less intentional. So that's the main thing I've been working on.
Yeah.
While simultaneously doing some other things like getting into some sketch comedy.
Yes.
With Nathaniel Stalky and Sam Stalky. Dude,
yes.
if you don't know those guys,
you should.
two of the funniest people I have ever met. So really stoked to do
Yeah.
some stuff with them. Just some more visual effects type stuff.
Sick.
I think I've made it pretty clear that I want to do the next, whatever Afronaut's next video is.
Yeah.
Because I think they've toyed around with some ideas. I'm like, I kind of want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
Dive Bomb.
Shooting a music video. And we're using Mr. Lee.
That's right.
Potent Lee over here.
Dude, it's going to be sick.
Dude, I'm very excited about it, actually.
I'm probably going to work on some tests later tonight.
Word.
Regarding like
dope.
the lighting and some of the effects for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very excited. This is all vision that Jake and Jill and
that's all them
have really come up with it. So it's all very conceptually guessed at in my mind, but it sounds like it's gonna be sick. So,
dude, I think it'll work. The more I think about it, I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
I think I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, well, I'm confident that you'll make it look good on your end. I just have no idea what to expect at this point in time. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna show up and shake my butt and try and put on a good performance.
A few twerk shots.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Now it has to happen.
Yeah.
The people are going to be expecting it.
I mean,
they want it.
They want
it.
They
want what they want.
You know, you got to give the people what they want. I'm totally asking for it.
Totally. Mainly more video stuff, but as a whole, my company just kind of does the entire gamut of media and entertainment.
Nice.
But trying to do more video because that's always been my dream, is like make movies. And if I can make movies with the people I love and friends and stuff like that, that is the dream.
Yeah.
For me, is to create with friends I enjoy.
Yeah.
Those people that you click with, and well, we've talked about this, like the people that you can brainstorm.
Yep.
And it's like that ping pong. Throw out an idea.
Yeah.
It's bounced back and forth between like a few other people.
Yeah.
And just any given person can just knock it out of the park in that moment.
There's nothing better.
There's nothing better.
It really isn't, man. There's really nothing better than that. It's such a beautiful experience.
Yeah. So with Nate, that's one thing that we've been doing a lot lately, is coming up with sketch ideas. Yeah. And I think there's some
pretty good ones from what you've been telling me.
There's a good pile of some pretty great ideas, I think.
Pile.
I know we talked about doing like a sketch comedy show.
Yeah.
Sort of on like the quality level of like Key and Peele type skits, where it's like it's clean and polished, but the concept is there.
Yeah.
Again, I'll show you some photos afterwards. Well, you know what? I've got it pulled up here. I'll just show you.
All right. Live reactions.
Sneak peek. So, having zero context to this, I actually don't know what you're going to think.
Oh, great.
So, at some point in the sketch, this happens.
What is that?
So the whole sketch is about this guy who's like self-conscious about losing his hair and going bald, and the entire thing is just looking right at the camera. And it's not until the very end that you see that.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
The listener's like, "What? I want to know."
It's like a potato.
It's like a potato, dude. Here, I'll show you the.
Is that Sam?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that doesn't look like Sam.
You can zoom in on this.
Glasses completely.
So I just textured the 3D model today.
Oh, that's gross looking.
I know, right?
It's like grotesque almost in like the cleanest way. Oh, that's amazing.
So once we get the edit done, then I'm gonna comp that in.
Yeah.
And
sick.
But doing stuff like that where it's the idea is incredibly simple.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, again, shout out to Nate. Dude can create a character and riff on it like no one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'll just come up with a character and then within like 15, 20 minutes, you've got something gold.
Yeah.
You have something to work with.
That's sick.
So we have this. We did one other video that hasn't been released yet that we're still trying to figure out what we want to do with.
Okay.
Because we jumped in and it was like the 90% of it was done like within like a day. And that last 10% of what we want to do to the video is going to take like 3 weeks.
Wait, is that the horror one you showed me?
No, that was the Snapchat filter one.
Okay.
Where he puts on like the old man filter and he's just like, hey, when I was young. And he's just, I'm not doing it justice, but we'll release that eventually. Gotta enunciate.
Enunciate.
I always never cared for that word.
Really?
Enunciate?
Enunciate.
It's just that and pronounce.
Pronunciate.
I don't know. Wait, that's probably not a word, is it?
Pronunciate. No, I'm mixing them.
Enunciate. I don't know. It just kind of bothered me.
Pronunciate. Really interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. I like enunciating. I don't feel like it does justice to what you're actually attempting to do. Enunciate.
Yeah.
I want some pop in it. Yeah, like that. Some P's and some
P's.
M's maybe, or enunciate.
Enunciate. Enunciate the words.
Oh my gosh. Well,
but yeah, that's what's going on.
Dope.
I've been really bad about
Right.
this entire time.
That's all right. My dad will normalize it.
Nice.
Just making
Thanks,
his
Dad.
job a little harder.
Thanks, Dad.
Shout out, Dad.
Shout out to all the dads out there.
All the dads. Happy Dad's Day.
When is Father's Day?
I think it's coming up this month.
I'm really bad at the parental holidays.
Parental holidays.
June 19th.
Hey,
It's coming up.
It's coming
12
up.
days.
12 days till.
Get your dad a card.
Yep. A tie, maybe.
Ties and some socks.
Yeah.
Maybe some old Seinfeld DVDs. I don't know what do dads watch.
I don't know. I like Seinfeld. I'm not a dad, though.
You know, I still haven't really watched Seinfeld.
Really?
Seen it off and on.
Yeah.
Haven't really.
I honestly
into
didn't
it.
get into it until a year or two ago.
It's on Netflix though. So.
Is it on Netflix now? It was on
So
Hulu. I watched all of it, and then I watched all of it again. I love it. And then I got really bored of it because it just becomes the exact same thing over and over again after you.
Right. That's what I tend to do with shows.
Yeah.
The Office, Parks and Rec, IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Watch each of those like 5 times.
Right.
Completely.
I've been wanting to watch Parks and Rec again. Keeps coming back up.
It's been a while. I think I'm ready.
What was I watching the other night? Dang it. Oh, yo, there's a interview of Post Malone on Hot Ones, that chicken wing thing. It's
Chicken wing thing?
where they go through the hot sauces,
Oh, yeah.
right? It's the second one that he does, or the most recent one.
Okay.
That dude acts and sounds exactly like Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec.
Really?
Exactly. Like, he sounds exactly like him when he laughs.
Interesting.
Some of the jokes that he makes, the way he talks, like the way he delivers some of them. Andy Dwyer. Blew my mind. I was losing it. I was like, this is a million times more funny because all I'm thinking of is Andy Dwyer.
Such a good character.
He really is. It really is such a good show.
It is.
He makes that show, honestly. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we could just go into shows. Because
Music videos.
Music videos.
Yo, so as always, like I say at the end, if you need some video work done, hit up Potent Studios.
hit me up.
Mr. Lee McIntosh.
Find me on the Instagram
Yeah, plug it away. Plug it away, sir.
at Potent Studios. You can potentstudios@gmail.com.
Oh.
info@potentstudios.com.
Oh. Fancy.
Find us on Facebook. Potent Studios. Potent Studio.
How do you spell that?
POTENTSTUDIOS.
Nailed it. Can you use that in a sentence?
Hit up Potent Studios. I don't. I got nothing.
All right. You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen.
If you want to make something,
Yeah.
let me know.
Lee's your man. And again, Newsroom After Hours, June 17th, come check out what we have somehow filled up, however long this freaking podcast is.
I don't know. I've lost track of time.
Talking about lighting for probably 75, 85% of it. We've talked this entire time about lighting. So you should definitely come out and see what we're talking about.
Yeah, come out. Yeah.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Roll up.
Roll up. Roll up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Open Mic Podcast with me, your host, Tom Hirst. Brought to you by Richland Source, Newsroom After Hours. Sponsored by, unofficially, because none of these people give me money, but I shout them out because I like them anyway. Henry Screen Printing, Two Cousins Pizza Co., Potent Studios. If you need some shirts printed, hit up Jacob Henry. If you need some pizza, go over to Tuco. See Philip Mazzacco for some pizza. Actually, more LaToya because she is the best and she'll be there to serve your pizza needs. And Leafus Macintoshes from Potent Studios. If you need some film, lighting, general all-around creativity in your life, talk to Lee. And with that, thank you guys so very much and have a wonderful day. Peace.
Bye.